righty. All righty. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, so we are officially recording, fellas. So, all right, Zach, you have the honors.
What's up, everybody? This is Zach and Dre with Skull Sessions. We typically have our midweek huddle, but we're going to change it up a little bit this week. We got a special guest in the house.
Yes, sir.
JJ, say what's up to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on? What's going on, man? We're glad to have our first official guest on the podcast. More to come, man. More to come.
For sure.
Yeah, bro. So, as you can tell, we've been Vikings fans for a while, and it's really cool to see the next generation of Viking fans and, see kind of how you guys, started and how you feel about the team. So this is really cool for us, man. This is a cool moment for sure. So, yeah, bro. So we're just going to get straight into it. So we have a few questions for you, man. So I went to your Twitter, seen a couple of your, tweets and seen a couple of the podcast episodes you were doing. And it was really cool to see somebody kind of know his stuff and, being a Vikings fan and kind of know what you're talking about. It's pretty cool. So few questions for you. So first question, man, which is the perfect question. What made you put that purple and gold on and become a Vikings fan?
It all started when I was about 5 years old. But then a little earlier, well, not a little bit earlier, like 5 years earlier, I was about 5 months old when my biological father unfortunately passed away. May God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And then my mom met my stepdad, who happened to be a big Vikings fan since he was a little kid. So he then passed that love on to me, and then I took it and ran with it, and now I know more than even he does.
Okay, that's really, really cool, man. That's really, really cool. So who was your favorite player growing up? When you became that Vikings fan, who were you just like, oh, that's my guy?
Probably Cordero Patterson.
Okay.
And Adam Thielen back when it was like really fast.
Okay. So you like Cordell Patterson, the Swiss Army knife, the kick returner, punt returner, a little bit of that slot receiver. Okay, that's actually really cool. I did not expect you to say Cordell Patterson. That's really, really cool.
Well, I mean, he was there playing when I was 5-6 years old, and I happened to be watching him. And my first Vikings game was in like 2015, 2016, Vikings versus Cardinals, and Cordero Patterson happened to have a punt return touchdown in that game. So,
okay. Are you from Minnesota?
Yeah, born and raised there for 7 years.
Okay, nice, man. How do you feel about that stadium, that beautiful new stadium they just got?
Oh, it's awesome. US Bank Stadium is amazing. US Bank Stadium is awesome.
Yeah, it's actually a really, really cool stadium. Me and Zach actually went to a Vikings game together. What?
This
4
was
years?
2018. I think 2018.
Yeah,
2018.
It was my first time seeing the stadium, man, and it was a really, really state of the art, nice stadium.
Top 5 stadium.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say that game me and you went to. I don't know if you remember it. Stephon Diggs and was dancing in the end zone.
Oh,
we were down there. We were down there by the sideline. We were like, "Yo, Diggs is dancing right now in the end zone."
He was over there cutting up in pregame.
Was that against the Niners? Was that against the Niners by chance?
No, that wasn't the Niners. That was.
Who was that against? I'm gonna have to go back.
It wasn't the Niners. I would remember if it was the
Niners.
It wasn't the Niners, but it was one of those games. I just forgot what game it was.
Yeah.
I do remember in the 2018 season, Stephon Diggs caught a touchdown against the Niners and was dancing in the end zone.
Oh, really? It was the 2018 season?
Yeah. Oh, I think it was a game on a Saturday in 2018, week 1.
Okay.
Oh,
I can't remember when it was. I know it was cold though. Remember that? And you were sick.
Oh my goodness, man. So I was living in Florida at the time. In Florida, the weather was like 80 degrees, and we went up to Minnesota, and I think it was like 2 degrees.
Oh yeah.
It was real cold.
It was cold.
Yeah, I was not used to that. I'm from Atlanta, so there's a lot of Falcon fans over here. I'm one of the few Vikings fans down south, but yeah, man, that's cool. See, it's your hometown team. That's really, really cool. We went to the Mall of America. We did the Juicy Lucy at the one little restaurant / bar. So we got
I wanted to have that. I really wanted to have that. because Minnesota. Whoop,
Oh, you're good. You're good.
gosh. Minnesota's like my number one state, so I always want to try everything that there is there, including the Juicy Lucy, because I just had a trip last September
Right.
of 2023, and I loved it there because we did so many things. And I thought that at the bar when we had Skull Fest, I thought that they'd have a Juicy Lucy there, but unfortunately they didn't. So
yeah,
That's
man,
wild.
you gotta get you a Juicy Lucy, man. Those things, I think that changed my life. How I looked at hamburgers.
So where do you live at now, JJ?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Patriots
Nice.
territory over there, ain't it?
Yep.
They're not looking too hot right now for sure.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool, man.
so
That's really cool. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it's kind of cool because we're all across the United States right now. You're in Atlanta, I'm in DC basically, and he's in
Right.
Massachusetts. Pretty cool.
Hey, man, Vikings fans around the world, man. You know what I mean?
We're taking
That's how
over.
we do it, baby.
There
Skull.
was one in Australia.
In Australia?
Yep.
Really?
That's wild.
That is crazy. Okay, bro. So let's get straight to it, man. Like we said, we're happy to have you on here, man. It's really cool. So you told us, who you're kind of that player that kind of got you into it and your backstory on being a Vikings fan. Who are we liking right now on the team? Like who are some guys right now that you're like that those are my guys that's what I like seeing on Sundays?
I'm really impressed by Josh Metellus, first of all.
Mm,
Also love some Cam Bynum
okay.
and Ivan Pace Jr. showing a
Yeah.
little bit of stuff here and there. With Ivan
Right.
Pace Jr., it's just that Brian Flores utilizes him so well in terms of whether or not the team that he's playing against is run heavy or pass heavy. So you might not see a bit more of pace in pass heavy
Right.
offenses as opposed to run heavy offenses.
That's true.
And another
That's
guy,
true.
another guy who's really stepping up, Brandon Powell. I like Brandon Powell. He's really doing his thing right now.
That's
Yes, he
Zach's
is.
guy. Zach actually talked about Brandon Powell the last episode. Josh Metellus, man, what a dog. What a
Yup.
dog, man. He's had one hell of a season this year. We were talking about that, bro. We're happy that Quasey, remember he got that contract done in the off season before the
Oh,
season
yep.
started.
Indeed, he did. He did.
Yeah,
I was actually in my hotel room in Minnesota when I found out that Josh Metellus got extended. And then I said, let me go do a video real quick about it because Josh Metellus is my guy.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
absolutely.
I love the way Brian Flores utilizes him. Josh Metellus is a strong safety, a strong blitzer. He can play at a linebacker spot. He's good with coverage. He can
Yep.
snag a few interceptions here and there. He does it
Right.
all.
Yeah, that's true. So let me ask you this question, man. Where is Brian Flores going to be the head coach at next year? Because you know how that defense is looking right now. You know there's going to be a couple of teams that are going to be on his line this off season, man.
I
Like,
want us to pay him head coaching money. I really do.
yeah, you know what? I
Yeah.
actually don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. What do you think about that, Zach? Brian Flores and the defense, how the defense has been this year, and hopefully he's not a head coach for another NFL team.
We need to pay Flores, man. We got to
need-
pay that man. He's a beast. I mean, I just can't believe he turned our defense around. Like you saw it last year where we were ranked like 31st or something down a show. Every
Right.
game, bro, we're like,
Right.
here they go, driving down the field again.
Right.
And to have Brian Flores just to go in and I mean, we're playing, like I said, we've talked about, I think we're playing at a top 5 level, man. So we got to get Flores
Absolutely.
back. Got to get him back in
Absolutely.
Minnesota.
It's sad, man, because like the Vikings can't have anything nice, right? Last year, that defense was kind of like, that issue we were having, and then the offense was clicking. And then obviously this year, with, one or two injuries, unfortunately, for the offensive side of the ball with Cousins and JJ, the defense has been keeping us in ball games, especially with the inconsistency in quarterback play. So that kind of gets me to my second question, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the man of the hour, the Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs. How are we feeling about him, man? How are we feeling about him?
Man. Well, I love Josh Dobbs, but
Okay.
you also want to see what you have in a quarterback like Jaron Hall.
Thank you.
Like
Thank
for the
you.
rest of the 5 games, I'd rather I'm not saying that the Dobbs experiment is over. I'm not saying that Dobbs is a terrible quarterback. Of course not, of course
Right.
not. But what I am saying is we saw what we had with a guy like Dobbs. First of all, in Dobbs' defense, we didn't run any RPOs, no like running plays, nothing that could cater to Josh Dobbs' skill sets. And even though, Dobbs obviously played the way that he did, which wasn't great, he did put up a nice touchdown drive. But now
Right.
I do want to see for at least the next like 2-3 games what we have in Jaren Hall just to prepare us for our next quarterback decision this offseason, because I know it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want us to draft. No, well, I'm fine with us drafting a quarterback, but he would have to start. If you were to draft like a quarterback like maybe I'll say Caleb Williams, but those guys are meant to start right away. Those guys don't seem to be the
Right.
guys to sit behind someone.
Right.
We saw
That's-
Gordon Love for the Packers do it for like 4 years, yet he's turning out to not play as well. He
True.
was sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, by the way, who I heard came back from the Achilles tear.
Yeah, there was a recent report that he's ready to put them cleats back on in about a couple weeks. He's trying to get back really, really soon.
Well, then how come in the NBA, Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant suffered a Achilles tear and they were out for 2 years?
Hey man, they wanted to live that lifestyle in Golden State. They wanted to hit the beach and live a little bit. That's funny you said that, man, about obviously the quarterback situation with Cousins out. I'm kind of more like you. I want to kind of see what the future may hold in regards to the quarterback position. My brother over here is a big Kirk Cousins fan. Cousins can't do no wrong. Cousins can't do no wrong. So tell me.
Jordan Addison, by the way, he's been getting touchdowns up until Kirk Cousins got injured.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time, JJ.
His stats are taking a hit. The stats are taking a hit because Josh Dobbs, I love his mobility. I love it. I love the way he can improvise. But Justin Jefferson and Josh Dobbs don't know each other the way Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson know each other.
Boy.
And, with this whole QB situation, at one point I did want Kirk back next year, and I still kind of do.
Okay.
His accuracy.
Right.
Look for Josh Dobbs or Jaren Hall or whoever starts. That stuff can be coached.
True.
But,
That's true.
I do hope that we see a bit more of something from Kevin O'Connell that can really help with mobile quarterbacks, because, when you have mobile quarterbacks, you definitely need, like look what Jalen Hurts is doing. He's lighting up the league, and he's, he's got not only let's not even mention his tush push. Let's not mention that, but let's not the RPOs, the read options, the plays that he's doing. Those are plays that Kevin O'Connell hopefully sees can benefit Dobbs.
Right. That's funny you said that. We had that discussion a couple of days ago where I was a little bit disappointed in the play calling. Obviously the first 2 weeks of Dobbs, I felt like after the second half of the Saints game, the offense was starting to get a little bit stale in the game plan and with Dobbs' progression. And then it became a sharp decline, obviously, in that most recent game Monday night with Dobbs and his performance. I felt like Kevin O'Connell, like you said, needs to kind of coach in a way that it benefits Dobbs' God-given ability, right? This guy can get out the pocket. He can make plays out of the pocket. And I feel like he feels a lot more confident out of the pocket, too. He'll hit tight ends. I know he was one of the top tight ends are one of the top receivers for him. He likes to hit those tight ends. So I feel like Dobbs can work the rest of the season, but I think it's really up to Kevin O'Connell to coach, in a way that for his skill set per se. So I actually hear you on that. So let's say this, bro. Are you a Kirk Cousins stan? Like Cousins is your guy, and no matter what, we want Cousins back and we want him to lead us, in the future in the Minnesota Vikings.
I do want Kirk back. I do want him to retire a Viking, seeing how awesome his family is, it kind of blinded me. It kind of blinded me from the business and brought me into the fact that, oh man, I want to keep this guy, he seems at home in Minnesota. We don't want to make him move his family again. I want him to stay on the Vikings. And he's the reason why Jordan Addison was playing the way that he was.
Right.
And, yeah, I said that again. And and I just feel like Kirk has this type of accuracy where something that Dobbs can definitely maintain,
Right.
doesn't quite have it at the moment, but I feel like he can definitely lock it down. But just like Kirk is the type of guy that strikes me as a guy who in a tough situation can fit the ball into a good receiver behind the corner and in
Hmm.
front of the safety for a catch. He could
Okay.
definitely fit a pass in like that. He's got accuracy for life.
That
Deadly. He's deadly.
this guy here, this Zach was waiting to hear those words. You remember that pass against Green Bay Packers, where he threw it to Adam Thielen and on the right side of, he was on the right side of the end zone, and he shot it through that corner.
Oh yeah, yep. I
Remember
remember
that?
that.
That was a dime.
2020, right?
Yes, it was a
Yep.
dime. That was a
That
dime.
was a dime. Like it was like a half yard of separation, and Kirk fit it in so perfectly.
Right.
But and
Right.
Dre, and to kind of we're talking about Kirk Cousins, but bro,
Yeah.
the last season, and JJ can attest to this. Tell me that wasn't the most craziest Viking season you've ever seen. I mean, Kirk Cousins was playing lights out last year as far as
Right.
the fourth quarter comebacks, throwing the ball, the Colts game. I
Right.
mean, are you kidding me, bro? To come back from 33 points, man,
Hey,
he needs to. JJ said he needs to retire a Viking.
this is my thing, fellas. Why are we coming back 33 points to the Colts? Why are we
How
one and
much?
done in the playoffs?
Yeah,
Why
that is a good question.
why are
Yeah.
we one and done in the playoffs, and the next year we don't make the playoffs? And then it's everybody else's fault but the guy that's running the franchise, the quarterback.
So you're saying you acknowledge how great the comeback was, but you're questioning why we were even put in the position to try and go make a comeback.
Yeah, man. It's funny you said this. I think Cousins is a great guy. He's a great family guy. Did you see the quarterback, the Netflix documentary for the
Oh, of
quarterback?
course. I loved
Yeah,
it.
he's a good guy, man. But I need a little bit more in my quarterback leading my team, man. Like, it's funny you brought up Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I wouldn't say is a better passer than Cousins at all. Like, I think Cousins is a lot better of a passer, but Jalen Hurts has this energy about him, and he has this confidence about him that that you have a chance every game in the fourth quarter if you need that touchdown. And I don't feel that confidence with Cousins. I don't see it in him because he hasn't done it the past 5 years he's been in Minnesota.
I do remember months ago that a couple of Vikings fans were, were arguing
Yeah.
about so the YouTube channel Purple and Gold for Days and Purple and Skull Media,
Mm-hmm.
those two channels.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I call these guys my uncles because they're like my YouTube uncles. We all do Vikings content creation together.
Okay.
So, what they were saying was, so Uncle Dave from Purple and Gold for Days was
Right.
like SK from Purple and Skull Media. He was like, SK, if you put Kirk Cousins behind the Eagles O-line with the Eagles weapons, you wouldn't be saying that Brock Purdy got hurt. You just be crediting Kirk Cousins,
That's true. That's
That was
true.
funny. That was really funny.
That's true.
I needed to grab some popcorn for that because I just like these content creators, they get online and they start like funny arguments
Right.
about like things like that. Like especially the guys that say trade everyone, season's over. That stuff's just too funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yep.
think Cousins is a very divisive conversation in Vikings world for sure. Some people, that's their guy. Other people, they're ready for something new. Speaking of which, obviously we have the Pac. I guess this is the last year for Pac-12. Bo Nix versus Penix Jr. Going on right now. How do we feel if Cousins can't come back for whatever reasons? And I know you said you would want a quarterback who could start with the offense that's ready to go. How do we feel about those two guys?
Those two guys are some very talented quarterbacks who, I've always liked a quarterback who can run but would rather pass. A quarterback who has the mobility but doesn't second guess when he needs to run the football. Like when he sees open field, when he sees green grass ahead of him, that he knows that he needs to run the ball. Because I feel like Kirk kind of hesitates, fakes. Like he's like, let me wait for another open read, and let me wait a little bit more for an open read just before I think about running it. And that can get you sacked. That can make you throw it with a foot over the line of scrimmage. or that can make you like throw an interception, like we saw in Week 5 against the Bears, the interception to Kendall Vildor, which resulted in the Bears leading 22-21. When the Vikings were ahead 21-3 in that game at one point. So you
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
maintaining leads, not second guessing. I think that can really help a quarterback. But a guy like Justin Herbert, for example, obviously I can't say that he's playing at his best this year. But what I
Right.
can say is that he's a guy, a bit of a bigger quarterback. But the point that I like about him is he is a guy who can run but would rather pass. So, but he's not going to second guess when he realizes that he has to run the ball to get a first down.
I like that. I like that. So you feel like these two guys, who are obviously going to be, top two round quarterbacks, they both kind of have that type of ability in their game. Penix and Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Got you.
There's so many talented quarterbacks in the draft, First of all, you have no idea how happy I was and how entertained I'd be to see, CJ Stroud, who I love. He's playing lights out this year, especially with his guy Tank Dell.
Right.
I love to see CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence, and Will Levis all in the same division. That's awesome. That is so entertaining to watch. I love that so much. And
do this.
I love that.
I was going to tell you to do the CJ Stroud for me real quick.
No, it's easy. I don't know why people think it's so hard.
That's cool you said that, bro, because you're right. It's kind of a new generation in the NFL and quarterbacks, and we got a lot of young guys in here that are the next generation that are very exciting quarterbacks. I love Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence actually went to Lawrenceville, a high school that's about less than 20 minutes away from me. Justin Fields actually went to a high school out here too. So speaking of Justin Fields, if Caleb Williams is putting that Bears jersey on next year, we can't, the Bears can't have two franchise quarterbacks. Justin Fields has to go somewhere. How do we feel if he put that purple jersey on for a right price? He has that Minnesota Vikings jersey on. How would you feel about that?
For some reason, purple doesn't look good on Justin Fields. But if we were to get him,
yeah,
you guys really take him over Dobbs? I'm just curious,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in terms of mobility, yes, he doesn't second guess a run, and
Right.
Justin Fields, I feel like with good weapons, he can play decently.
Right.
Unless he's playing against Brian Flores.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, that's true. So, I guess that kind of segues us to the next kind of topic, man. Las Vegas Raiders are coming up. We're still in this playoff hunt. Offense was completely unacceptable Monday night. Who is our quarterback going into that Raiders game and also into the rest of the season, into the playoffs? Who would you put in there to kind of lead us?
Hurts to say.
Jaren Hall? Okay.
I love Dobbs, but I want to see what I have in Jaren Hall just a little bit because we saw that drive against the Falcons. And we can argue that if he doesn't overthrow that pass to TJ Hawkinson in Week 9, he doesn't have to make that run the next play to get concussed.
That's true. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. What do you think, Zach? How are you feeling about the quarterback going into Vegas?
Yeah, I hope we go with, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Jaren Hall. I think he looked poised. He looked poised in the pocket.
Right.
And I think he will go just because he's been there a lot longer than Dobbs.
Right.
So I think he will be able to go through his progressions like Kevin O'Connell wants them to do. And he'll go to hit Justin Jefferson. Jefferson's going to get his touches. I don't want any feud between if we go put in Josh Dobbs and he's getting sacked, he's fumbling, he's throwing interceptions. Justin Jefferson is going to be he's going
to let it be known with his body language for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. He'll turn around and go.
Right.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah. I would like to see that. I would like to see Jaren Hall be able to get an opportunity. And man, I will be really shocked if this year we don't, based on all the talent at the quarterback position in the draft.
Right.
I feel like there's so much unknown territory with Kirk basically a free agent as of right now.
Right.
You got to know what you have based on finances, Kwesi being the analytical guy, you have to know.
I've been saying, yeah.
So I'm believing that they make the right decision. Just throw Hall in there. If he's good, he shines. So be it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Let's go see what we got in the draft.
So I'm gonna tell you guys what's gonna happen right now. Mullins is gonna start. Nick Mullins will start, and everybody will be disappointed.
Oh,
I know. Everybody will be disappointed.
I said that too.
Yeah, but Mullins is gonna start, and if Mullins does bad, maybe in the first half, maybe we see the young gunslinger from BYU. I
you're
kind of
acting like
agree.
it's preseason. That's like preseason.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to see Mullins. I don't want to see Mullins, but
Look. The last time I watched Mullins, I'm serious. This is the last time I watched him. He was in a Buffalo Bills uniform, I believe, and he threw 4 interceptions. That was the last time I watched Mullins.
The
I don't
last
want
time
to
I
see him.
watched Nick Mullins was in 2020, Packers versus 49ers, when all the Niners guys were hurt. The Packers were like killing the Niners.
yep.
And Nick Mullins tried to do a QB sneak. And the guy couldn't get a single yard because Darius Smith grabbed him and pulled him back. It was so funny. It was so funny. Oh my god! But
That's
I
awesome.
like Mullins. I like his personality though.
Yeah, you know what, man? I like Mullins over like Sean Mannion. Like Sean Mannion
Oh yeah, for sure.
must have had some dirt on the organization, or he was Kirk Cousins' best friend. You know, they were sending texts every night after the game. But I'm
Sean
happy.
Mannion?
Yeah, like
Oh,
I'm happy that's done. Like at least it's not Sean Mannion. Like that was an awful 2-3 year span when he was our backup. Like
I
it
mean,
I
was
didn't really, I didn't really pay that much attention to. Well, I mean, Mannion was our backup since 2019,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he played in one game against the Bears in 2019.
It was awful.
awful. I think I told you, Dre. I said you need to book the one-way ticket to Minneapolis, stand outside the training facility. They'll get you right in there over Nick Mullins. I'm sorry, over Sean Mannion.
Over Sean Mannion. I like,
Yeah.
hey man, it looks like we're all kind of on the same page. We want to see the young guy in there. With basically how he performed against the Falcons, it was good. He's a rookie. It was his first NFL game. Of course, he's seen, everything in 100 times speed, right? So the more he plays, the more, he's going to slow down and everything's going to click for him. I just think he just had a little bit of jitters. Like, obviously, he'll learn how to slide and protect himself, right? And he had some drives where it was clicking for him. You know what I mean? The Kevin O'Connell system, everything was clicking, and unfortunately, he just got hurt. And then the Josh Dobbs mania took off, and he got kind of pushed to the side. But I want to see him too, man. I want to really see what he has, because worst case scenario, it's not there. At least we know. Best case, you may possibly have a quarterback for a couple of years, if not longer, that can lead your team. So I want to see him. I'm kind of with you guys. I want to see him, but I think it's going to be Mullins. I think it's definitely going to be Mullins. But yeah, man.
So,
oh, what's really funny is one of my friends, who's unfortunately a Packer fan, he said to me that I told you before, a week before this, you were gonna have a rude awakening with Dobbs. He wasn't wrong.
no, you wasn't.
He wasn't wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
man. It was ugly out of there. What were you gonna say, Zach?
No, I'm just thinking. Do you think JJ has any kind of push to who he wants in there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think so, JJ?
Not that I don't think so. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah. How do you feel about him coming back?
I'd rather have him come in without it being 95%, because don't forget about the other 5. The other 5 can really come back to bite you, and that can re-aggravate because hamstrings are not a joke at all.
Right.
So I think the bye week is going to give him a really, really, really good chance to rest up, and I think we'll for sure see him in Vegas, although I wanted to see him back at home in Minnesota.
I got you.
Because that way he'd have the home crowd cheering for him whenever he got a first down.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, he would go. That would be a beautiful thing for sure. What were you saying that?
No, I wasn't saying that.
Oh, so speaking of home games, I seen Adrian Peterson was at the Monday night football game.
Oh, yeah, he was.
And the way our rushing offense is looking right now, I'm trying to give him that 28 jersey back. Hey.
I posted on Twitter saying maybe he's here for
Right.
You know?
Hey, I mean,
Yeah,
he may still have a little bit of juice left in him. He
he
was a
does.
beast, man, when he was playing
Yeah.
in Minnesota. A one of a kind talent. Um, so just to kind of wrap it up with you, man, we're not going to keep you too long. Are your Minnesota Vikings making the playoffs and making a push in the playoffs? Are they going home first round? Are they not making the playoffs? What do you think? Prediction right now.
First of all, I love the Wilfs.
Okay.
Great management. And it seems like they seem to be content with, just kind of getting to the playoffs
Right.
without really they're doing a great job of taking us there,
Hmm.
and they seem content with at least making the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I'm content with making the playoffs. I just want to see a bit more of the push in the playoffs. That's what I like to
Okay.
see. But
Okay.
again, Mark and Ziggy Wolf are great owners and great people. I just hope that they find a way to kind of help our team to not only make the playoffs but make a push in the playoffs, because I can tell that those guys want to do that.
Right. What do you think, Zach? Prediction right now. Are we making the playoffs? And if we are, how far are we going?
I think we're making the playoffs based on the strength of the schedule. One,
Mm.
even the Seahawks losing yesterday. Now we're in the 6th seed.
Right. Right.
We didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So the
Mm-hmm.
teams that can kind of come take our spots are like the Falcons, the Saints, the Bucks, the Packers, the Rams.
Right.
I think our defense is better than all those teams. And I think eventually, if we can figure out the quarterback situation, we can. I think we can make. Yeah, I think we can get past the first round if we can get the quarterback situated. I think we can make it past the first round. We're making the playoffs based on strength of schedule. We
Gotcha.
don't play that many. I mean, our two toughest games coming up will be the Lions.
Right.
That will be our tough games to decide.
Right.
But as far as just making it, I think we can get in either that 6th seed or that 7th seed. I can see us definitely making it.
Gotcha.
What about you? What do you got for us?
I see us making it and going home. They going to the beach, Cabo. I know Cabo is a beautiful place to go in the off season. They can go there, go to Miami for a little bit. I see them making it, and I see them first round. They're gone. They're that quarterback situation is something serious, man. It really is something serious. But you
It
know
is.
what? If Jaron Hall goes out there and he's everything we never knew we needed, and he, can maybe win us an extra playoff game. But I don't
Hey,
think this team is ready yet. And then we have a lot of young talent, and I think we're getting there. But I don't think this is the year, fellas. Unfortunately.
is it? Is it? Hey,
Well,
is it? Could be that 2017 year. That 2017 year.
With who? With
Journeyman,
Dobbs?
journeyman
well,
quarterback. Hey, I don't know. We got to find the guy though. We don't got long. We got like 5 weeks here to figure it out. So we got to find that guy. What are you gonna say, JJ? My
ESPN
bad.
ESPN's analyst Louis Riddick said that he sees a young Brock Purdy in Jaron Hall, and our community, the YouTube content creators,
Right.
my YouTube uncles, they think of Jaron Hall as Jaron Mahomes Hall. That's what they call him due to his. I don't know if it's because of his mobility, but it's like we call him Jaron Mahomes Hall.
Okay. That's tell your uncles that's a very tall praise right there. You
It
Yo,
know,
is. It is.
who he reminds me of, JJ? Russell Wilson back on the NC State, North Carolina State, in his first year or two in Seattle, when he had that defense around him. He was
Yeah.
running around, like you said, he wasn't running around to make plays with his legs per se, but just to get receivers open, buy a little bit of extra time. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he has an accurate arm. He reminds me of a little bit of Russell Wilson. Yo, you don't think? Okay, okay.
mm. Oh, we're saying. Oh, you weren't saying that Russell Wilson doesn't have the strongest arm. You weren't saying that, right?
Yeah, no. I'm saying that
Oh, okay.
anticipation and kind
Oh,
of
okay.
running
Okay.
around
Okay.
to get those receivers open. No, I'm not saying
Because
he's
I was
got the
about to
Josh
say,
Allen arm.
I was about to say, Russell Wilson did throw like an 80-yard touchdown pass back in Week 1 of 2021 when he played for the Seahawks. It was a touchdown
Right.
to Lockett against the Colts, but still great player. Russell Wilson is.
You're
Uh,
right.
kind of sad
Hey,
to see him in what's the colors of the Broncos? Orange, dark blue, and
yeah. Or
rundown.
hey,
Yeah.
hey, He put that thing on the money against the Vikings and that to Cortland Sutton.
Yes, he did.
You had to bring that up. You had to bring up my guy, Mekhi Blackman getting bullied.
Hey, yeah, the Mekhi Blackman looked like he needed to do a little extra workout reps after
He's
that ball
my
game.
guy. He is my
like
guy.
him. I like him.
I would
man.
say
He's
this.
a feisty
Other
corner.
than that game, that play really. I mean, a couple plays against Sutton.
Right.
He has been balling this year.
He's been a
Mekhi
dog.
Blackman.
He's been a
He's
dog.
been going off this year. I love him,
Right.
man. I can't. Do you know who does he remind you of? I can't figure. I don't know offhand. But
Minnesota Vikings player,
Antoine Winfield,
Mackenzie Alexander.
Mackenzie Alexander, yeah.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
how-
for sure.
Remember how
I can see
feisty
that.
Mackenzie was his first year? I'm not
Yes.
talking about when he came back, but that first
Right.
stint he had the Vikings, very feisty, was a little undersized, but he got the job done. I see a little bit of that. I need to see a little bit
Yeah.
more of Andrew Booth too, man. He has the skill set. I need to see him out there.
He
That's
could be
the type of
rising.
guy. That's the type of guy you put on Court and Sutton because you got body on body over 6 feet, and you kind of let them duke it out. Well, fellas, excellent, man. This is really cool, man. Thank you for coming on to the show with us, man. It was cool talking to you, bro.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I love being on podcasts, being on shows with little people, big people, all the people.
Yes,
Love
sir.
talking purple. I think we're the best fan base by far.
Absolutely, man.
1,000%.
And
That's
I will
it.
send you guys the link to my uncle's channels just so you guys can tap into the purple community. I like to see when the purple worlds collide. So the more fans,
Absolutely.
the better. So
Absolutely. Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome, man. That is awesome. Well, this is our midweek huddle. So we appreciate it. And Broncos country, let's ride.